Ezra Levant here, as you can see by the incredible architecture behind me. I'm just going to rotate a bit. I'm at the Royal Courts of Justice in a neighborhood of central London called the Strand. It's absolutely one of my favorite places in the whole country. But I'm here not for tourism. I'm here to cover Tommy Robinson's appeal at the Court of Appeal. And in about 1 hour's time behind me, that appeal will start in front of the Lady Chief Justice of England and Wales. That's the official title of the top judge of a 3-judge panel. The hearing today is an appeal of Tommy Robinson's sentence for contempt of court. You might recall that last year Tommy Robinson was convicted. In fact, he pled guilty of publishing a video to Twitter, which remains on his Twitter account to this day. It's his pinned tweet. It's a documentary film Tommy made about a particular case in the public interest. A judge said, Tommy Robinson, don't you publish that? And Tommy Robinson did. So there really wasn't much of a case. Tommy pled guilty to it, and in fact he traveled back from Spain to the UK to meet his fate. He did not try and avoid it. Tommy was given the absolute maximum sentence allowed under law, and atrociously and to the discredit of the United Kingdom, he has been serving it in solitary confinement, which is clearly against all legal norms. A few weeks ago, Tommy Robinson had a judicial review of his prison treatment. It was not successful. Today is different in that it is challenging the sentence itself, it was basically a 24-month sentence, but there are some calculations that are standard that take it down to 18 months, and typically a prisoner is released after half that. But still a 9-month prison actual custodial term done in solitary confinement is actually a new record. Tommy Robinson is the first journalist in nearly 100 years to be jailed for contempt of court, and he has received the maximum sentence. It really is an astonishing case, and it reminds me of when the Prime Minister here, Keir Starmer, met with J.D. Vance and Donald Trump in the White House, and Vice President Vance raised the issue of freedom of the press and freedom of speech and free expression here in the UK, and Keir Starmer babbled and bumbled a bit about how precious it was. It sounds like he was caught off guard, but cases like Tommy Robinson's are what I think is motivating the United States to take great concern and to in fact link freedom of expression with the proposed free trade deal. I should say that the Times of London had an article just a week or so ago that reported that every single day in the United Kingdom there are 30 people arrested for what they say on social media. Let me say that again. Every single day, 30 people in this country are arrested for some tweet or Facebook post. I don't have the facts from the Russian Federation, but it would not surprise me if the numbers here in the UK were actually greater than under Vladimir Putin's Russia. I just can't even fathom 30 arrests a day for mean tweets. Tommy Robinson, of course, is the leading edge of that free speech movement, and that's why they want to pound him down. Tommy Robinson's autobiography was called Enemy of the State, and I think it's apropos. Anyways, enough perambulations by me. I'm going to get in there to make sure I have a good seat. On these important legal occasions, the mainstream media attends, and by that I mean the BBC and the Guardian, and even some of the tabloids who are generally friendly to the working class and might even call themselves conservative. They all have editorial direction from the top to disparage Tommy Robinson and criticize him. It always boggles my mind how a newspaper like the Daily Mail that has a conservative base can turn, a working class base can turn against Tommy Robinson. They still write about him because they like the clicks, but they disparage him. That's really the reason I've come from Canada, a 7-hour flight each way, because I feel that my journalism will be more independent. I'm obviously sympathetic to Tommy Robinson, but unlike the BBC's Dominique Casciani or the other regime journalists there, I'm not paid to smear the man. I'm going to go in and get my seat. If you want to follow my reports, I'll be live tweeting throughout the hearing at my name on Twitter, which is simply Ezra Levant. And I will be posting videos like this to Tommy TommyReports.com. Hey, can you do me a favor? If you think what I'm doing here is valuable, can you go to TommyReports.com and chip in a few dollars? I've got to pay for my flight over from Canada because unlike the BBC, I don't extract money from Brits by force. All right, I'm going in now.